we really want to thank everybody who was involved with finding our child. From law enforcement to volunteers to people donating to people praying. You guys mean the world to us, and we cannot thank you guys enough for what you guys all did out there. And we appreciate it. And I wanted to talk a little bit about who Noah was. You guys can get a full grasp of that little boy. Noah was a little ball of fire from the time that he came out of that womb. He was keeping us on our toes, and we never knew what he was going to do next. Noah was a leader in every way, never wanting to and never liking it when we would try to show him how to do things the right way. He always showed us how to do things his way. Yet in the midst of his independence, he would still love to sit and snuggle with us, drinking his bottle of milk or his juice, playing with any hair that he could get his little fingers into. Noah loved to play with his little tractors, trucks, and cars, and he loved riding his bikes and playing with his little Thomas the choo-choo train. He would climb anything and everything that he could get a good foothold of. And when he wasn't doing those things, he was getting to everything that he was not supposed to be getting into. From cabinets and drawers to the refrigerator, grabbing anything that was in his grasp. And then he would bolt through the house, running like crazy, and me chasing him, trying to get a hold of him, trying to catch him. And he would laugh, and he would run in circles, thinking that he had the upper hand. And he did. Because just when I thought I was one step ahead of him, ready to catch him and get whatever he had taken, he would throw it as far away from him as he could. And it was all the way across the room. He had an arm on him. Noah was 110% boy. Anything that made noise or moved or had an engine, he was drawn to it. I don't understand why it had to be my baby. And I don't understand why this was Jesus' plan for Noah and for my family. But I do know, and I trust in him. And like Jacob was saying, we all know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are the called according to his purpose. And that was Romans 8:28. That has been our verse through this whole ordeal. And I want to read from you real quick in Isaiah 55. And it's verses 8 through 13. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. As the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return to it without watering the earth and making it bud and flourish, so that it yields seeds for the sower and bread for the eater, so is my word that goes out from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it. You will go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills will burst into song before you, and all the trees of the field will clap their hands. Instead of the thorn bush will grow the pine tree, and instead of the briars, the myrtle will grow. This will be for the Lord's renown, for an everlasting sign which will not be destroyed. If I had had things my way, my baby would have walked out of those woods alive. But Jesus saw a much bigger and a more beautiful picture. Jesus used my baby to reach people across the world. People who had never prayed or haven't prayed in years fell to their knees and cried out to Jesus. People have given their lives to the Lord. Communities have come together. Denominations have joined hands in unity in Jesus. And I want to share a few of these stories to encourage all of us of how good God is, even in the midst of pain and heartache. This one says, I do not know you or your family personally, but I feel like I do. I have not prayed since 1998, until Noah. My almost 4-year-old has not been taught about Jesus until Noah. I prayed more in those 7 days than I think I have in a lifetime. I wanted so badly for Noah to be back with his family that you could tell loved him dearly. It is human to question these actions, possibilities, and what-ifs of others, but after seeing the faith your family has, the picture of Noah and how happy everyone was, there was no doubt that this was just a tragic accident. I'm so unbelievably sorry. I've honestly never seen anything like what Noah did. He brought people together, arm in arm, and people like myself who had lost their way for years. They're back to Jesus. I begged, pleaded, prayed, and wept for Noah. I am so thankful he was found to bring some type of closure to everyone, especially the family. Thoughts and prayers for all the weeks, months, and years to come. And I want to just read this one part. This guy stopped by his sisters to check on them to the morning prior to this, and she had been involved as I have. She does not have social media, but logs onto her son's, who is 16, and she checks it regularly. She also has a 3-year-old, and this is where she first learned of Noah on the 14th. She's 36, and she has not been to church or had any desire to since she was 14. She joined the Highland service this morning because of Noah. He has touched more people than you realize. I witnessed something I never thought would happen this morning, and that was his sister going to church. This one says, I pray with all that I am that this precious note makes it to Noah's parents. I too feel the same, that before he breathed his first breath, he was called to bring people from all over to their knees in prayer to the one true God. It is not by coincidence, like you said, that people feel a connection to this beautiful human being and have been changed by him in turn, brought back to him. It doesn't make sense, and thank you, Jesus, that it doesn't, because this is faith, and this is the Lord. Praise Jesus for Noah. I will forever pray immense blessings for his sweet family. This one was called the Noah Effect, and it encouraged me. It says to be strong, never give up, stand on God's word, forgive those who would want to harm you, come together in prayer and love, trust his will, and live your life to the fullest. And another one. As a parent, I have prayed many times that each of my children would be used by God in a powerful way. Noah forced me to consider what I was really praying for. I was accepting that my children aren't mine and that their father's purpose may be nearly impossible for me to endure. Noah fulfilled his purpose in just 2 years and was brought home after bringing thousands together in seeking God, and many for the first time. Through this, I was once again committed to accept whatever God's plans were, as I asked him to call my children to his purpose and to give them the faith to answer yes when called. Noah reminded me that our lives on this earth are not for our purposes, but for God's. Thank you, Noah, for teaching me and for reminding me that as a dad, my first job is to teach my children to know their father and to trust him without question or reservation. And it says he predestined us for adoptions as sons through Jesus Christ according to the purpose of his will. And that's Ephesians 1:5. And this one here says, what did you learn from Noah? I learned that a community comes together in the cold, in the dark, in their hearts, when the need is there. A country was there for this little boy, praying and doing whatever they could do to help. No one was white or black or red or any color. Everyone was just there, arm in arm, to find a missing baby. We all prayed. There was no difference in religions here. I learned that regardless of all the police brutality that you are shown on the internet, there is more kind and dedicated law enforcement who would do anything to bring a little boy back to his family. They were broken humans today before the world, trying to speak with a lump in their throat, trying to keep it together to deliver the worst possible news. Defeated, they stood together and helped one another when they lost their voice. I learned that even when you have a great faith in God and live accordingly, that you too will suffer loss and heartbreak. A good Christian family is not free of persecution or prosecution, even when proven not guilty. They stood strong with their loved ones and ignored what the world had to say. Their faith stayed strong even when they were being judged by countless others. Their community, family, and friends all stood behind them. I saw a family on their knees, still praising God. I learned a lot from a little boy who could run too fast and was too adventurous to stick around here. Thank you, Noah. And there is one more that I would like to read. This one says, "My heart is broken for your family. Like so many others, I have prayed without ceasing for Noah, your whole family, and all of the searchers and law enforcement throughout this past week. I am so sorry for your loss. I wanted to share something with you that God showed me during the community prayer vigil. All of humanity had become so wicked and evil that God was sorry he made them and sought to destroy man. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord." That's Genesis 6:8. God told Noah to build an ark. God sent a mighty flood to destroy all the living things on the earth. It was through Noah that humanity was restored on earth. When your little Noah went missing, people came out and braved the harsh weather conditions and the cold temperatures and the rough terrain to find a precious child that was not their own. They willingly did this because they could all imagine it being their child that was lost. I've seen so many people say that their faith in humanity had been restored by the outpouring of love for your family. Once again, God has used Noah to restore humanity, but this time it was your Noah. I firmly believe that everything we go through is part of God's plan. It is no coincidence that you named this child Noah Israel. We know that God will always take care of Israel. God knew from the beginning that he would use this child to unite a community and to touch hearts across the world. We don't understand God's ways because they are higher than ours. We must trust that God is in control and lean not on our own understanding. That's Proverbs 3:5-6. I saw a comment from someone else that said, "Noah got lost so we could all be found." And that is so true. I know your life has been ripped apart, and this past week has been a week from hell. As you grieve, I hope you can find comfort in knowing that God has used your child in a great and mighty way. God knows exactly what you're feeling. He lost his son too. I will continue to pray for your family, and the impact that Noah has had will never be forgotten. And I also heard a story about a soldier in Afghanistan. I never saw the post. I looked for it and I couldn't find it. But she gave her heart to the Lord. She had heard and she followed all the way over there. And she surrendered her life to Jesus. And there's a lady sitting in the audience right now. She was with me when we were out there looking for Noah many times. And the day that they found Noah, she came to the Lord and she gave her heart to the Lord. And I praise Jesus for that. And we want to give Jesus all the glory for the work of his hand in the midst of our sorrow. And we cling to his word, putting all of our trust and all of our hope in him. Yes, our hearts are broken and our lives are forever changed. And the love for our baby boy will never die. And we're going to miss him like crazy. But we look forward to the day when we are called home to be with Jesus. And we can reunite with Noah, praising and worshiping Jesus together again in heaven. Jesus took our baby and used him to reach a lost world. Our baby became the world's baby. And let's not let the fire that Noah started die